But in Ayurvedic medicine, we have said it from the day one, every disease begins and ends in your digestive system.
Today's guest is Dr. Virendra Sodhi, the first Ayurvedic and naturopathic physician licensed in the United States, and a pioneer in bringing ancient healing wisdom into modern family life. For over 3 decades, he's been helping parents understand how simple, natural routines can transform their children's health. Let's dive into this powerful conversation. Welcome to the Conscious Children Project, a podcast by Mudita Circles. I am your host, Shruti Desai, a parent, kids yoga educator, and someone who left 12 years in the corporate world to walk a more intentional path. This podcast is a space to slow down and to reconnect with what truly matters. Not just how we nurture our children, but how we grow alongside them. Each season, we explore themes close to the heart of childhood and consciousness. And in this season, we will be exploring the 8 limbs of yoga as a framework for understanding the child as a whole. Each episode will focus on one aspect of the child's development, and we will dig deeper into what truly supports their growth emotionally, physically, socially, and spiritually. Let's get right into it. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us today. I'm really, truly honored to have you. Just with your presence, I think the whole initiative and my purpose of, serving the other parents has kind of elevated having such an esteemed guest. So I really appreciate your time and support in this.
You're welcome, Shruti. I love kids. Kids are my favorite things, and I have 2 grandkids, and they are the light of my life. And I certainly will, if anything I can do, which I don't know if I know anything in the world, but whatever I know, I will try to give my best advice to you guys.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. For our listeners, if you can explain what is Ayurveda and how does it help children well-being. There are so many people who still haven't heard Ayurveda and they don't know what that is. So
Yeah.
in a layman terms, what is Ayurveda and how can that help?
So if you if I speak literally, Ayurveda is meaning is science of life. So several thousand years ago, more than 5,000 years ago, the science of Ayurveda was starting to be written in the textbook form. Before that, it existed in the oral traditions. So Ayurveda is nothing but the cycle of Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sunrise, there's a sunset, there's a moonrise, moonset. And what our sages, our rishis, our scientists realize that we are in connection with the Mother Earth, with the water, with the air, with the fire principles, and they call them elements. These are actually basically a energy molecules. They don't have a physical form, but what is happening in the Mother Nature, and if we follow the laws of Mother Nature, we are following Ayurvedic principles. That's it. And the animals and the birds and the fish, they all follow those simple laws of Mother Nature, except for the humans, because I think we become more intelligent and to a point that we start ruining ourselves.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, being in tune with the nature, understanding the rhythm of nature, and then following along will help us also stay aligned with nature and with ourselves.
And we have less disease. One of my favorite saying is that, look at the river, look at the sea. There is a zillion kinds of animals, fish in those waters, and they don't have a sewer system. They don't have, so there is a interestingly, there is a cycle. This somebody's poop is a food for something else. So the whole, by the end of the day, the water is clean. It doesn't get destroyed. And but as the humans, we're destroying it. We're destroying all those type of stuff. So I think the science of Ayurveda was learned from the basic principles of Mother Nature and applying those laws of Mother Nature into particular life cycle made us live healthy.
Mm,
And one of the basic principle, I wrote a book recently, is called Free Medicine, Your Body is a Natural Pharmacy. And I picked up the shloka Jivam Shardha Shatam, that we all live for 100 years. This is our, that's affirmation. We actually do that affirmation on a daily basis,
mm,
that we should live for 100 years. And not only that, I should see for 100 years. I should hear from 100 years. My tongue should be able to taste the food for 100 years. I can digest the food for 100 years. My arms have the strength for 100 years. My legs have the strength for 100 years. And I am cognitively intelligent, and I have amazing success in my life.
mhm, mhm. That, yeah, that is wonderful. I mean, I think that's a good affirmation for everyone to kind of pick up on and begin their journey. If with so much information available, maybe they can start there, uh,
Yeah,
and then learn along the way. Um,
that's right.
yeah, moving on. What is Dinacharya? I keep hearing a lot about Dinacharya in Ayurveda.
Yes.
So what is Dinacharya, and how does it align with the children well-being? How can we set some kind of a routine in children using Dinacharya?
So din means day, charya means the routine of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that there's a 24 hours in a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and Ayurvedic medicine divides those cycle also into vata, pitta, kapha cycles, and 4 hours each. And 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is a more of a kapha period starting in the morning, and then 10 to 12, sorry, 10 to 2 is the pitta, and then 2 to 6 is the vata, and then reverses again in the evening. So that basically we are feeding into that cycles of the mother nature, and it's all because of the sun and the moon cycles. We have this day and night.
Mm-hmm.
And so like in the middle of the day, the sun is at extreme,
Right.
and then and start to shift,
Mm-hmm.
and it start to get very hot and then get colder, colder and colder, and the middle of the night is the coldest.
Right.
So basically what happened is our digestive system, our body's ability to do the functionality
Mm-hmm.
changes with the day of time and where we are spending our time. So that's why we want to feed into that dinacharya routine created by the mother nature. One of the thing which I tell my patient, can you change sun and moon cycle?
No.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
So we cannot change it, but we have changed ourselves with all these artificial lights.
Right.
uh, we used to sleep by the sundown. We will be in the doing our food activity and be done. And because there was no electricity, and we were forced to sleep by the end of the day, and we wake up when the sun was up. So that was the perfect way of keeping in sync with the mother nature.
Mm-hmm.
And we were eating according to that too, because we wake up in the morning and we were hungry, so we were looking for a food, and then we found some food, we ate it, and then we rested. If you look at the animal, they do a similar thing. Like, they will graze, or they will go, the birds will go and find the food, and then the middle of the day they are mostly kind of sitting and kind of dozing. Every cell need oxygen, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
100 trillion cells, and most of us, we are not breathing to the full capacity. We are breathing, your yoga teacher,
Yes.
we breathe around 50 to 60%. And like, with the first routine, when you wake up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
Ayurvedic medicine was first, okay, go and drink 2 glasses of warm water. And why was that? To create peristalsis in your intestine.
Mm-hmm.
And the peristalsis starts, and you have a feeling of going to the bathroom, and you go and you pass your bowel movement,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually evacuate very nicely, because the pressure of the liquid and the peristalsis helps you to urinate and poop very nicely. And so you don't have to stain, you don't have to, you do. And one of the major complaint which people have is the digestive issues.
Right. Yes.
Then it goes back to the microbiome, which we just now talking about in the last 5 6 years. But in Ayurvedic medicine, we have said it from the day one: every disease begins and ends in your digestive system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have 100 trillion cells. We have 1000 trillion bacteria in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
And these gut bacteria, now they are actually calling it a neuropsychiatry, that different kind of bacteria And I think that applies to kids who have special needs, artistic kids, autism kids. There's a lot of actually interesting data on that one too.
Mhm.
So when you change the food, because the different kind of food will make your good bacteria or bad bacteria or pathogenic bacteria
Mhm.
or opportunistic bacteria. Like there are bacteria which are opportunistic. They will be okay when the body is in balance. But when the body goes out of balance,
Mhm.
they pop up and create a disease for us. So very, very interesting. And so now after the bathroom, so first thing what you do, you come out and you
Yeah.
look at the sun.
Right. You have 2 glasses of water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, what are you doing? So if you go back to your grandparents, what they did, they took a shower and they
Yes.
came out and they have this pitcher of water in their hand. They put the water to the sun
Mm.
and then looking through the sun, through the water flowing down to the sun. Now, why was that?
Yeah.
So now what happened is when the water is pouring,
Mhm.
you studied science, the rays of your sun are getting the refraction
Mhm.
through the prism, is passing through the prism. Now they're going to get concentrated, and your retina has the same function as a chlorophyll in the leaf.
Interesting.
Okay, so it's resetting your retina, which in turn reset your pineal gland and your pituitary gland. And in the pituitary gland there is a pineal gland, and pineal gland is master gland. It is the master hormone production stimulator in the whole body. So what you're doing, you're resetting your pineal gland to make your hormones according to that time. And when you wake up in the morning, our cortisol levels are the highest,
Mhm.
and as the day progresses they fall down, fall down, fall down. Like if in the morning they can be around 35 to 40,
Mhm.
by middle of the night they will have 1 to 2.
Mhm.
So you see there is around 35 times reduction in their production, and by the time they go to this 1 to 2, then different set of hormone comes in, and they are making your melatonin.
Mhm.
And this melatonin is a sleep hormone.
Mhm.
So if you're not cutting down to the 1 or 2 level at night, you're not going to get a quality sleep. And one of the biggest problem now today's society is sleep issues, insomnia, because we didn't start the day right.
Yes.
Now you pop in all the pill. Plus, we live in a stressful situation. We are stressed out. We have too many things to do, and these gadgets, which is helpful but also stress causing too, the computers and your televisions and the news. When the covid was hitting, if you remember that, every day when you wake up in the morning, the first caption will be this many million people got covid this today,
Right.
this many died today. And what are you going to think about when you listen to this news?
Mhm.
You're going to have a fear,
Mhm.
and when you have a fear, you are creating a disease.
Mhm.
So one of the best thing which the Vedic sciences has taught us to be fearless.
Mhm.
Even a Sikh prayer
Yeah.
uh, starts with the Ekonkar Karta Purak Nirbhay.
Mhm.
God is one. He is the stimulator in us, and He is fearless.
Yes. Mhm.
So when you remove your fears, you are starting to heal. Plus, also you're able to do more. The fear are there very important for us, but that is to make us ready, but not to get scared with it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a very valid point. I think the fear, half of it, even, when I spoke to a lot of children, I think, when I asked them, why don't you go out and play? Or, why are you always with technology? And that's what they said, that, because they have the awareness of what's happening around the world, they are scared to step out on their own.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think, what, as a parent, as a teacher, as a grandparent, they need to instill that confidence in you. So I just narrate you a very interesting story of mine, personal story.
Mm-hmm.
So as a young kid, when you go to school, you hear these different stories.
Correct.
The kids, come back, and I grew up in Himachal Pradesh, very remote village. There is no electricity, there's no water, there is no road. My father was a principal, and he actually was very highly educated. 1948, He has double masters.
Oh, wow.
In those days, people didn't even go beyond high school. But he opted to choose to go to a remote area of Himachal so that he can help people to educate. And I'm glad he did that, because I think the childhood, what we got is was amazing. It was godly. It was so heavenly.
Mhm,
So then, I used to be, these kids will come and they will gossip around. Oh, they saw some kind of a bad soul, and which was haunting them. That's very common, happens. They saw the bhoot, they saw the pret, which is just gossiping. But and as a child, mind is very sensitive.
right.
And you come home and see, you're looking at your shadow now.
Mhm,
You're so scared, you're fearful. And so my father, because we lived in this village, and there was no electricity. And he said, okay, go out and bring the wood, because there was no other way of cooking.
mhm,
So I said, no, I don't want to go. There is this soul will hit me, or will catch me. And he
mhm,
said, what are you talking about? I said, no, no, this is what my colleagues were saying in the school. First he tried to make me understand there is nothing of that nature. But I'm scared, I'm fearful. So what he says, okay, let me come out with you,
mhm,
and I will stay 5 feet away from you.
mhm,
You go and pick up the wood
mhm,
and bring it in.
mhm,
So still the faith in me.
mhm,
Went and picked up the wood. Then his next time he said, okay, I will stay 10 feet away from you.
mhm,
Then he said, okay, I will stay 50 feet away from you.
mhm.
So I was that confidence that my father is in my back there.
Right.
Anything happens to, he's gonna come to my rescue.
Mhm,
And then he says, okay, I will go half mile away from you.
mhm,
I will go 1 mile away from you. And so that way, and now by the end of the high school, I was completely fearless, and didn't have any, issue with the shadows or those bad souls hitting you. So I think we need to understand every child. Some kids are bold by nature,
correct.
and but like if you go to military, what they teach you, they guide you how to be bold, how to be fighting those kind of stuff. The bullets are flying around you, but they instill so much faith in you that you beat them.
No, that's very wise. I mean, just yesterday, I took my son to an advanced swim class. That was his first swimming class, and just looking at everybody, going taking laps, he was scared. He was like, I am not ready. I am not ready to do it myself, and he wanted to be moved back to a regular class.
Yeah.
The instructors had confidence in him, but he was not confident enough to do it on his own, and so he insisted that we move him back to a regular class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so I
So basically, it's same thing has happened with the me, with my grandkids too. And my granddaughter is more bold. She will jump to the water. My older grandson, he will just be fearful. Now actually they both are good swimmer, but it took some time for the older one to get the younger one just like started to swim after 3 4 sessions.
yeah, it's interesting to know how each of them are different, and
Yeah,
how we have to be mindful in how we support and nurture them. So going back to the Dinacharya, so you suggested that we start with warm water, and then, step out in the sun. And then, what are some other things that, we can instill, or, have as a routine for our kids, a
yeah.
simple routine to get, like you said, if you start the day correctly, then you are able to end rightly, and you're able to sleep well, rest
Yes.
well. So how do we ensure that, our kids have a good start?
So then the time for eating food, and you want to eat a balanced food. You don't want to eat only. So like when your kids, you are growing, you need good amount of protein, you need a good amount of fat. And the fat has been created in a lot of kind of okay, your high cholesterol is going to cause you problem. And it's all wrong science. Now been proving that those all the information which was given to us was wrong. So when we were kid, we were given butter and ghee, and fortunately all was organic. So I emphasize organic food. If you're vegetarian, certainly you need more protein, and your protein sources are now your milk, paneer, your cheese, nuts, seeds. So you want, and the beans. The other, then after that, uh, what you want to do is you wanted to have you want to actually whatever day activity you do, and then you go for your lunch time. And lunch again, according to Ayurvedic medicine, should be the heaviest meal because the sun is at the full, so your digestive fire, which we talk about in Ayurvedic medicine, is highest at the in the middle of the day. So you eat good amount of food there, and the dinner should be lighter because you are sleeping after that, and it should be around 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours before you sleep. So if you go to bed by 10 o'clock, it should be by 6 to 7, not later than. So this is also very important. When you're eating late, you're not going to digest your food very properly,
Right.
and you need a food which will create more natural sleep. So carbs are naturally sleep promoting.
Mm.
They trigger serotonin in you, and serotonin triggers melatonin in you. So that can be good, but great emphasis on vegetables. Most people does not eat enough vegetables, and if you're not a vegetarian, then you can have eggs, you can have a chicken, fish, depending upon your requirement as a protein sources. But it should be well balanced, should not be like only this kind of only protein, protein, protein. I hear that a lot these days. Proteins are important, don't but we don't need excessive amount of protein. We need around for adults with 60 to 70 grams of protein, in smaller amount, lesser amount for the kids. But they're growing age, and it will change when they are from 4 or 5 years old to 17, 16 years old, because all of a sudden your requirement increases, and depending upon your exercise and what kind of exercise you do.
Got it. That is a very, in a nutshell, a very good kind of a rule book for us to follow. And it's good
Yeah,
to know that carbohydrates, the way it's been spoken about, that if you're having carbohydrates, it's not good. But it's good to know that carbohydrates helps with melatonin production, and so it's not something that you should avoid. You
avoid, yeah.
should consume, but in a
unless
balanced way.
unless you have a sugar imbalances, then this can be different story.
Right.
uh, but the also what you should do is to make your blood sugar not go spike up. You start with something which will gel your food, like a
Hmm.
salad, vegetables.
Hmm.
When you do that, your insulin doesn't trigger too much.
Hmm.
It stays flat. And now you eat protein, and then you eat carbs.
Hmm.
And if you need to eat sweet, it should be in the end, although it should be curbed because now we're eating too much sugar.
Right.
So all those simple things can help you. So then you have a leisure time. The In the evening, it should be unwinding time. So sitting down with your family. I remember as a young kid, my family, we used to sit together, and my parents will ask you, what did you learn today? What was your day went by, any positive, negative thing? And then they will counsel us. If every as the kids are growing, there is a different stages coming to you, and it has a different kind of issues comes up.
Hmm.
So in teenage is a different issue,
Right.
adulthood is a different issue. There's also part of sexuality, and you start to be in the teenage. So our parents were very advanced, and they talked to us about all those things. What is natural, what is not unnatural, all those kind of stuff. And so basically, you become a coach. The parents has to be coach of their own kid. I don't want third party person, even not the school, teaching them what should be taught at home. Because when you're going to teach from home, they're going to get the best education.
That is a very wise thing. I mean, because as parents, I think some of us are scared to share, and we feel there's that taboo kind of, that we should not talk about certain things, and maybe it should come from the right source. But like you said, I think as parents, we should make that space for our children to communicate, and also set an example by sharing all those with them ourselves first. I think that's really wise. I think we talked about Dinacharya, which is great. And from what I know, a little that I know about Ayurveda, it is very personal, right? It is very customized to a person based on their prakriti, based on the place that they live, based on the season. And is there an easy formula that you can, help us with, without, because as a parent, I feel so overwhelmed with all the information. Is there an easy formula that we as parents can use as to what is seasonal, what we can apply, without getting derailed with, all the fads of protein rich diet and all of those?
Yeah. So we forgot one most important part of Dincharya:
Yes.
sleep.
Sleep. Yes.
So sleep is the best medicine.
Hmm.
When you get a good quality sleep at night and you wake up in the morning fresh,
Mm-hmm.
you beat almost all diseases, including cancers,
That.
heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, inflammation, autoimmune disease. You just blah blah blah. It's like a big long list. So very important for us to go to bed by around 10ish, and the kids maybe earlier,
Mm-hmm.
because if you have young kids, you should start preparing them going to bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. And for the adults to 10 o'clock. Most of us, especially with the IT people, even including me, I when you were in the medical school, that's a different story. But when you come out of that, you need to recreate that habits.
Mm-hmm.
And so go to bed by 10 o'clock and wake up by 6 o'clock. Otherwise we're going to miss that sun cycle again.
Right.
So even in Seattle, there is no sun. You don't see sun most of the time, but still the sun is coming out. And
Right.
if you go out and you look at the sun, you're still getting same benefit, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yes, we coming back to your Vata, Pitta, and Kapha
Right.
stuff. So we all are different and we are born differently.
Right.
So, and it depends upon your parents and the climate you grow up. Because I grew up in mountains, so I'm hardy. I can climb mountains easy. I can tolerate cold weather more better than the other folks, because I'm born and raised there. That's become my genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you example, like the Sherpas in Nepal or in Tibet, they can climb on Mount Everest without oxygen cylinder, and they have a specific kind of enzyme in the system which can latch onto oxygen, and then it stays with them, so they don't need. And if me and you will go, we'll be huffing and puffing at 12,000, 10,000 feet
Right.
elevation. And or we will feel that. I have been to Lhasa, not Lhasa, but the Indian Tibet part of the part. And it's like I was actually have to take 3 days off to just get acclimatized to that elevation. And the airport is at 11,000 feet elevation, by the way. We were able to cross around 18,000 feet road by after acclimatizing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it becomes natural for us, but it takes some time to do that. So then, I think on the other routine is very important is exercise.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter you're a young kid or you're adult, we all need to exercise. And one of the most important thing is breathing.
Mm-hmm.
If we breathe, we are cutting down diseases drastically. Stress reduction, it can be meditation, it can be breathing exercise, it can be pranayam, can be walking. And all those things together creates a wonderful life cycle. And when we talk about exercise, it is a breathing exercise,
Mm-hmm.
it is like aerobic, like a walking.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage parents to go out once a week on the jungle ride, walk in the jungle with the kids. There is many beneficial. You're gonna look at new fauna and flora. Your kid is gonna ask 20,000 questions. What kind of leaf is this? What kind of tree is this? What this fish look like? What this frog look like? Why this bug is green? So the curiosity increases,
Right.
and so all those things will make it more communication better between the parents. And the one most important benefit which I want to tell you, when you go out in the jungle and you breathe that pine air or the aerosols of those trees, you are triggering your immune system
Mm-hmm.
40%. There is a special called NK killer cell, natural killer cell activity, increase 40%. And if that is not impressive, it stays there for 7 days. 1 hour walk in the jungle. So you are making your immune system more stronger
Mm-hmm.
for 1 week. So once a week, go with the family out, and this becomes an amazing ritual. And the kids love it. Majority of the kids love it, and they will be also away from their these gadgets.
Screen.
And, because otherwise, every kid doesn't matter where is my grandkids or somebody else kid,
Yeah.
they all are fidgeting on this, these these tools, and which is not the best, because the attention span reduces and it not good for you.
Right. No, that is great. I think that's a very good cycle for us to follow. Start with the sun, wake up with the sun, start with 2 glasses of warm water, eat a heavy meal at the brightest day, or like, the when the sun is at top of your head, and then, slowly trickle down, calm, like, get to a routine where it is more of, you're calming down with like either having a
Chai,
conversation with your
absolutely
kids, family, and then have a light meal 4 hours before your sleep. I think the few things that you said were really important. Have a balanced meal. Sleep and breathing are two key things. Rest can cure everything. Breathing
exactly.
can, I think most of us don't breathe enough, or don't use the entire capacity. So,
Yeah,
breathing more, and does not have to be a rigorous exercise, but even a simple walk is
absolutely.
sufficient. So these are, I think, very simple yet effective things that we can definitely incorporate in our day-to-day life.
So another thing which I want to tell, also the teach people arts, music, rhythm, painting,
Mm-hmm.
anything which they want to do with their hands. It is amazing because you also different part of your brain is getting developed.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are right brain, but you also want to develop your left brain.
Right.
These people are become more functional, more better when you have these kind of activities in you. So like especially in South India, the girls are forced to learn dance, bharatanatyam or kuchipudi or other forms of dances, or even music. And you can see, like, most Indian Bollywood industry is dominated by the South Indian actresses, if you see that,
Mm-hmm.
and because there is a reason for that, because I think they will get more talented because they develop both sides of the brain, right brain and left brain.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your rituals, don't forget the importance of meditation, puja. Why we do the puja? Why it's important to light a candle in front of a deity? And I don't call them the idols. Idols are in the English bad word, because and the British purposely put that word. They are deities. They are very sacred to us, and so we are actually invoking those energies in us. And when we are bowing our head in front of a goddess Durga, we are wanting Durga to be present in us, in me, and it's present everywhere. And when we are bowing our head in front of Shiva, we are invoking his energies in us. When we bowing in front of a Vishnu, so this is like a very important, I think, telling our kids our traditions is very, very important,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping that energy flowing, so that the next generation will also understand where we come from, and they will be appreciated. And there will be a period coming when they will run off from that,
Mm-hmm.
when they go to school. But we'll see, by the time they go to college, they're going to come back to this again.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So it's not going to be a lost cause. You will see that the kids say, wow, and they relearn, because when they see the world out there and they start to understand what is real and what is not real, then they appreciate it more.
I think I am an example of that. I did learn Bharatanatyam as a kid. I was exposed to yoga as a kid, and then as an adult, I kind of moved away. With the fast-paced world, you want to be independent. You want to build a career. So I think my attention kind of got diverted there. But I think it's a full circle. Now I'm coming back to the roots of I
Yeah.
like learning myself, relearning everything that I know, going back to the roots, and hopefully guiding others along the way. I think that makes total sense. I think few things that you said, I just wanted to call that out is like arts and culture. Sometimes because we want our kids to progress academically, we often tend to not pay attention to it, and we ask what, so what, right? If they are painting well, so what will they do with it? They cannot make a career out of it. So but this is a very good point that you bring up, that it helps them excel in everything that they do because it is enhancing their brain capacity. They're able to think from both parts of their brain versus just being dominated on one side. I think that's really a good one for everyone to, all the parents to think back as to if they want to encourage kids in certain activities or not. There's a segment that I like to have, which is called pause practice. If there are, I know we talked about a lot of tips and that we can adapt, but is there anything like two small things that we can adapt in our day-to-day life, maybe for a parent who is overwhelmed, very having difficulty to kind of set a routine, set a rhythm, has a very chaotic life, or maybe busy, both of them are working? Is there two simple tricks, tips that you can suggest that they can start off with?
So I think I like that the lot of Christian families, they sit around the table in the evening, They
Mhm.
hold their hands together, say a prayer,
Mhm.
and uh, and they just thank God for the food they provided at the table. We also have the mantras in Sanskrit to buy the same thing.
Right.
Doesn't matter, because basically what we're invoking is that amazing gratitude
Right. Mhm.
and that calming moment. You will see when you say your kid, let's do the prayer together, and you can use any example you want to use, any religion example you want to use. You will see you're connecting to the kids at a heart level, and you're also connecting to the universe.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, so there has been studies done on gratitude. When the gratitude, people were thankful,
Mhm.
there was a study done actually on patient who has a heart attack and heart surgery is done. People who were thankful, they have a 50% less repeated heart attack
Wow, interesting. I would
just for being thankful.
Mhm.
I think that is we all need to instill. And living in America, we should be so thankful because we have abundance.
Mhm.
And you come from India, I come from India. Yes, there are middle class families and upper middle class families, they have pretty good amount of stuff, but there is also 33% population is very poor.
Right.
So we always need to show our kids, that there are other parts of the world which are not as
Fortunate.
fortunate, and they should realize that, and they should be connecting to them, not running away from them.
Mm. No, I think
And anything they can do as a seva, I like, in the Sikh religion, they go, they serve
yeah.
in the langar, they wash the any even a very highly qualified person will come and clean the shoes.
Right.
So it's the humility, is that the humbleness in us which makes us great. It's not the how many medals you won or how much money you made. It's not make you great.
Mhm.
And it becomes actually the egoistic, when we make more money. So, okay, I made this much, oh my god, I have this award given to me,
Mm.
which is good. I'm not nothing against it, but again, that vinamrata, that humbleness, that connecting to the poorest to the poorest and the richest to the richest,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
that and we instill that in our kids, they will gonna become such a amazing citizen. They will respect every other, like a lot of, if you look around, there are people are not taught right way,
Yes.
and when somebody comes out of their home and starts shooting other, there is some programming issue there.
Right. Yeah. I think you bring up a good point, and that reminds me, I don't know if it is Dalai Lama or someone who said if meditation and breathing is taught to 8-year olds, we can eliminate violence within one or couple of generations.
That's right, very true. And like the Sadhguruji has done experiments with the veterans and who were taught meditation, yoga, and the kriyas,
Mhm.
and they came out of the depression, they came out of the drug, they came out of the alcohol habit and the addiction patterns. So we have amazing tool, which is I think the Ayurveda, and basically the basis is Ayurveda. The meditation was taught to us as a young kid. Like we all did the puja. That's the meditation,
Mhm.
But we were not taught that we were connecting with the mother nature that way.
Correct.
So that was lacking a little bit.
Okay.
But I think as an educated parent, as an educated person, you can say what is the connection. And when we do the pujas, we are actually connecting to the element.
Mhm.
Nobody talked about that. We are, we worship all the five elements. We worship all the navgrahas with these navgrahas, and then we also worship the sun and the moon because this has more electromagnetic influences on us.
Mhm. Mhm.
They are the closest to our planet. So these are all very scientific, but I think we
Fuck.
lack the explanation
Yeah.
to. And they thought it's a ritual. It's not a kind of it's just like a bogus ritual, which is not.
Right, we forget the context, or we probably don't know the context ourselves. So I think
That's right.
as a parent we should learn the context and kind of pass that on.
Right.
So the next segment is something that I call as a ripple moment. Is there a story close to your heart? I'm sure you've seen 30,000 or more clients and patients. Is there a story that's close to your heart where you kind of help them from, from the life before Ayurveda, before yogic wisdom, and you kind of brought them on to the other side, and if there's something that moved you, made you feel like I'm glad I'm in this right field.
So there's I think let's keep it to the children because that's what your main goal is.
Yes.
Because I also see adults, mainly cancer patient, and we have so many stories. I think you might have heard some stories at the Ayurveda Day at the Consulate General's office. So I've seen a lot of people with ADD, ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
autistic kids, and when these kids transform, then makes an amazing difference.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids were brought to me, and we talked about all those things which we talked about, eating patterns, and of course, when you have a special need kid, parents needs to be a lot more, and majority of people are working hard on that one,
Right.
and with the right guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the nutrition was put in place,
Mm-hmm.
when they put the routine, breathing exercise, the kid is not going to breathe
Right.
unless you breathe.
Mm-hmm. True.
Whatever you want to get your son or daughter to do, you need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to absorb it, and it's gonna stay with them rest of their life. As long as they're alive, this is gonna stay with them. I used to exercise. I still exercise. My son picked up. He exercises, and when my daughter-in-law came into his life, the first thing he did, he bought a membership for the exercise club. Now they are busy, they have, but they what they have is hired, and they clearly afford, thank God. They hired a personal trainer who comes to their house 2 times a week to teach them. So simple thing, but because it didn't started yesterday,
Right.
and it was started instilled in him from the young, and he saw me and my wife doing those similar, very simple activities, and that maintains good health in us.
Mm-hmm.
So the kid came to me with, he has a autism spectrum, and we worked with him. And this kid now is, I think, is 12 years old. And first time he came, he was just running around all my office. I know how those hyper kids are
Yes.
and artistic kids are. There was no contact.
Right.
And now this kids come, and he tells me the stories. He talks to into my eyes,
Oh, wow.
and and he's excelling in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is actually such a transformational,
Mm-hmm.
and very, very beautiful. So that gives me a lot of immense pleasure that at least I will able to change one kid at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and make a big difference in his life. And in coming years, he's going to be successful.
Of course.
He's going to have education. He will have a more kind of social skills
Mm-hmm.
and communication skills, and that makes people successful.
Right. No, that's a very beautiful story, and I'm sure their parents and he himself is going to be so thankful for that transformation that you brought in him. And I think the life that he will lead further and people that he will be surrounded, I think it's like a ripple effect, right? So you've impacted one, but that will kind of pass
Yeah.
along. The last one that I have is for families who are brand new to Ayurveda and yoga, do you see yoga just as a physical practice or as a path for children's emotional growth?
So yoga is basically, yoga is a word. Yoga mean union,
Yes.
and yuj is a Sanskrit dhatu, where it comes from, union.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the union between body and mind?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what the main gist of yoga and Ayurveda is.
Mm-hmm.
You're aligning your body with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when you align that, you are actually going to the third entire your third identity, which is the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So the universal, we use a like Atman, soul, we call Atma, and Atma is Paramatma, our supreme Atma. So your Atma, your soul, when your body and mind is connected, will connect to the supreme of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when you connect to the supreme of the world, that's a lot of our sciences were also envisioned in meditation, because we were connecting body, mind. Most of us, we have so much trash files in our mind
Mm-hmm.
that we are not able to utilize our intelligence
Mm-hmm.
100%, because it makes malfunctioning. It's like a computer. We all understand computer language these days.
Right.
When your computer is overfilled with the bad files, your real file will never show up.
True. Mm-hmm.
Best thing is, and the Gita said the same thing too, past you can change, present is right now,
Mhm.
future nobody knows.
Right.
So to make the best of your life, start living present. This is already gone to past.
Mm.
So present is so small, and we need to learn how to live moment to moment to moment and be thankful for everything which we do in our life.
That is wonderful. That's, I mean, an amazing way to end this session. I think that's something that I think we struggle with, most of us. We are either worrying about what we did in the past, or we are worrying about how we can cater to the future. And we
Yeah.
often tend to forget what we have today with us. I think that's really amazing. Looking ahead at the next generation, do you have any hopes, or what are your thoughts about the upcoming generations?
So there is always high cycles and low cycles. If you
Yeah.
look at the histories, the Indians were very, very advanced several thousand years ago.
Hmm.
Architecturally, they had everything, so they were even machines and all those, the rockets, everything was there.
Right.
And then we went into a loop. I think, I don't know what happened. I don't have that much intelligence to know what happened. And it again, so that is the nature of this mother nature. It's gonna go into high cycle, then gonna come into low cycle.
Hmm.
So I think keeping the one of the your thankfulness, gratitude, and the hope is amazing thing which makes us wonderfully. So I have a great hope for this our new generation, because they are intelligent. They have that the technology which we didn't have. Chat GPT. I just need to keep our hope, and also keeping a firm faith in us,
In ourselves.
in our sciences,
Hmm.
in our religion. Whatever you believe,
Hmm.
it's meaningless. And then you'll see that we are going to religion, when to me is not the way we practice,
Right.
the way we are connect to the universe, the way to we connect to the mother earth, the way connect to the water, the way we connect to the bugs, the way we connect to the fish. That is the religion.
Hmm.
Actually, in our prayers, in Vedic prayers, we say that.
Yeah.
You go back to that's what we say. And so I think connecting to the whole universe is our main purpose of our life.
That is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time, for your wisdom. Thank you for sharing all of that with us. If at all the listeners, I'm sure they would want to connect with you, they would want to learn more. Is there a way that they can reach out to you, or what would you recommend?
So they can call our clinic at 425-453-8022, or they can go on our website www.ayurvedicscience.com. And if they need to talk to me, I'll be very happy to talk to them. And whatever I know, I will be happy to give my advice on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. This is really wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I am truly grateful for the wisdom Dr. Virendra Sodhi shared in this conversation. Ayurveda reminds us that health becomes so simple when we return to nature, follow the rhythm, and trust our intuition as parents. I hope you are walking away with practical steps you can weave into your child's daily routine starting today. If this episode inspired you, please share it with another parent who might benefit. It really helps this work reach more families. In our next episode, we will be hearing from parents themselves as they share what daily rituals and rhythms actually look like inside their homes. Until then, remember, one child, one breath at a time. We would love to hear from you. You can connect with us at muditacircles.com or on Instagram, The Conscious Children Project. See you next time. Take care. And thanks again to our lovely sponsor, Pia. Remember, you can use the code TCCP20 at piabeauty.com to get 20% off. Thank you. Take care.